Today on Bench Briefs, we're looking at a recent Supreme Court of Canada decision that tackles the delicate balance between effective law enforcement and protecting individual rights under the Charter. The case is Arga v. Larocque, decided in November 2025, and it raises important questions about how evidence is gathered and when it can be used in criminal trials. At the heart of this case is Mr. Larocque, who found himself facing serious criminal charges after a police investigation. What makes this case stand out isn't just the charges themselves, but how the evidence against him was collected. This led to a legal battle over whether the police followed the proper procedures and respected Mr. Larocque's rights under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, especially those protections against unreasonable search and seizure. So, what happened? The police were investigating an incident involving Mr. Larocque, and during their investigation, they obtained certain pieces of evidence that played a crucial role in the prosecution's case. However, questions arose about the circumstances under which this evidence was gathered. Specifically, there were concerns about whether the police officers conducted their search lawfully and whether they adhered to the necessary procedural safeguards designed to protect individuals' constitutional rights. This isn't just a technicality. The Charter guarantees everyone protection against unreasonable search and seizure, meaning the police must follow strict rules when collecting evidence to ensure that personal rights aren't violated. If evidence is obtained improperly, it can be excluded from the trial, which could significantly impact the prosecution's case. The key legal issue before the Supreme Court was whether the evidence against Mr. Larocque was obtained in a way that violated his charter rights. If so, the court had to decide whether that evidence should be excluded. This involves applying the legal test from previous cases that weigh the seriousness of the police misconduct, the impact on the accused Sid's rights, and society's interest in having a trial on the merits. The court's decision in R v. Larocque reaffirmed the importance of protecting constitutional rights while recognizing the challenges law enforcement faces. The justices carefully examined the conduct of the officers, the procedures they followed, and the safeguards in place during the search and seizure. Ultimately, the ruling clarified the standards that must be met to admit evidence in cases where charter breaches are alleged. Why does this case matter? It sends a clear message that the courts will continue to hold police accountable for respecting constitutional protections. At the same time, it provides guidance on how to balance the need for effective policing with the fundamental rights that underpin our justice system. This decision will influence not only future cases involving search and seizure, but also how police conduct investigations across Canada. In other words, R v. Larocque helps define the boundaries of lawful police conduct and reinforces the principle that the ends do not justify the means when it comes to evidence gathering. It ensures that justice is not only done, but is seen to be done in a way that respects individual freedoms. Thanks for listening to this episode of Bench Briefs. Be sure to join us next time as we explore another important case shaping Canadian law. Until then, stay curious and keep questioning.